everyone's going to be done at some point. So I think that's probably the scariest part. But like I said, also very exciting because, one door closes, another opens, and there's a bunch of fun stuff still down the road after athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to Moving Mountains. I'm your host, Austin Holland. I'm a college football player with a passion for showing others that with the right mindset, you can move any mountain that may stand in your way of your goals. And I'm excited to bring you weekly interviews with guests where they'll be sharing their stories and how they've overcome the mountains that they have moved and overcome throughout their journey. And this week, I am joined by Ashley McElmurray, my friend, my former fellow intern at ZIYNX. She is a track and field runner, superstar at the University of Nebraska, where she competes in the long jump and triple jump. Ashley, thank you for joining this week.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, first of all, you're from Missouri, right? Montana?
I'm from Missoula, Montana. Yes.
So, how you say it?
You say it Missoula.
Missoula? Okay,
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Missoula and what that's like coming from there.
So Missoula is a town of about 80,000 people. And so it's not super small, but obviously not that big. So it was quite a bit different coming to Lincoln because Lincoln's about 200,000. But yeah, just being from like smallish town Montana, it's definitely different than Lincoln. It was kind of a little bit of a culture shock coming here and just being around so many different cultures compared to Montana. But yeah, I've loved it. I've loved being in Lincoln, and yeah.
So what was it like with high school sports and recruiting and everything with you in high school? Like, what made you choose Nebraska?
So in high school, I was actually a 3-sport athlete. I did track, soccer, and basketball. And when I was a freshman, I started realizing that I could potentially do college athletics with track. And both my parents had went to the University of Montana, and I was kind of hoping for an opportunity to go Power 5 if I had the chance. And so I didn't really know anything about Nebraska when they reached out to me, but my parents were really excited about it. And then I actually was pretty convinced I was going to go to Utah just because it was close to home. Like I could drive from my hometown. And it was Pac-12, which I was really familiar with that conference until I went on my visit to Nebraska, and the facilities were amazing. I loved the coach. I loved the team. And I just felt like it was a perfect fit for me. So that's kind of why I decided that I would go here.
That's amazing. So when was like the first discovery that you were like, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
I'd say my freshman year of high school. I jumped pretty well in long jump and placed pretty good at the state meet. And so I kind of was just looking at different marks of like, I would say freshman year was when I thought I could do college track. But then sophomore year, I was thinking that I would potentially have an opportunity to do Power 5. So, yeah.
That's a blessing. That's amazing. So tell us about a day in the life for you right now. Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so my days in life they're about to get a lot busier, but just being a fifth year, I kind of have taken most of my hard classes already, and I'm going to be going to nursing school next year, so I kind of have most of that out of the way. But I usually have lift and practice every morning or every day. We have team meetings and different stuff like that, usually like 1 to 2 to 3 classes a day. So yeah, and then just eating and I don't know. Yeah, just normal athlete things, I
guess. So what would you feel like is the best thing that you look forward to throughout your day? Like within your day to day, like that one thing that you're like, all right, I'm looking most forward to this.
I really look forward to seeing my teammates at practice. I feel like I love the people that I compete with and train with, and so seeing them always like puts a smile on my face. And yeah, we just have so much fun together at practice and in the weight room, and so that's probably like the best part of my day.
That's amazing. I can relate to that too. Like it's being in the portal, not having the same teammates is not being around them as much is been a little. It's definitely like a culture change for sure.
I know it's sad when you don't get to see them. I
bet. I mean, luckily though, where I train at, so 2 of my teammates are down here getting ready for the combine, and so like where I train at, they train there. like so like I'm still with them, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Nice little experience to be able to be here with them. But so tell me, like how's track? I mean, you were a three sport athlete, so like how do you feel like that has influenced your life in your day to day, like in how you are today and the woman you are today?
I think that being a three sport athlete, like I think I was definitely the best um at track when I was doing those three sports. And
Mm,
so it was kind of interesting like doing different sports and being different levels. Like seeing being all different levels in those different sports, I guess if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um but I think it was really fun just being able to like experience a bunch of different stuff and kind of, make friends with all my teammates in all those different sports. But I would say that it definitely helped me not get so burnt out within track, like doing it now. And I feel like some of my friends that I knew in high school that kind of specialized early on, I feel like they're
Mm,
experiencing more of a burnout in college, and I feel like I haven't really experienced that. And now after doing 5 years, I'm like, okay, I think I'm kind of getting ready to be done, but also I've like been able to really enjoy it and love it. And I think I don't know if I would have been able to do that if I didn't do all three sports.
yeah, that's good. So like what's so I know you're applying for some nursing school right now.
Yeah.
So other than nursing school, what are some goals that you have set for yourself for the future?
Well, I know I really like to compete, and so I want to figure out something I can do that's competitive. I kind of want to be like a good skier. But now I also really want to be like a good cook. I'm just like trying to kind of find a bunch of different hobbies because I'm like, I don't know. I just think it'd be really fun to be good at a lot of different things and like not having
Yeah,
track. I'm gonna be kind of, well, I guess I really won't have that much time because I'll be in nursing school, but I feel like I will. Like just now that I won't have all that. So yeah, just like trying to figure out some different hobbies I can develop and like some different areas where I can feel like I'm still achieving and like success and stuff outside of athletics. So yeah.
that's good. Well, speaking of nursing school though, I personally don't know what that's like, but I know. I mean, just the thought of having to apply for another school can be very stressful, and I'm sure that some viewers, playing a sport and then wanting to get into nursing, that like, I mean, your sport in general is already a job. It's like football, track and field, whether it's basketball, soccer. I already know like that day to day is very strenuous. So tell me, what is the process like applying for nursing school? Like, has it been stressful? Has it been easy? You kind of already know
Um,
what you want to do. How have
I
you kind
think
of found that?
a little bit of both maybe just because it's obviously stressful thinking about, well, I'm just like, whoa, it's gonna be so different next year, like not doing track. But it's exciting um on the reverse too, because it's just something new and I feel like after doing something
Yeah,
for 5 years, it's like, okay, I've loved this, but I'm kind of excited to move on to the next chapter. But as far as like applying, I feel like since I have taken 5 years to do my undergrad, and like normal people, not normal people, but like a lot of people will go to nursing school after 2 years of undergrad, and so I feel like I've had a lot of time to kind of prepare for it and like know
yeah.
exactly what I need to do. So I think that's alleviated a lot of stress, but it's always a little scary, like not knowing where you're going to be at or not knowing, like for me, I really want to go to nursing school in Montana, and so they have a placement system based on your class rank, and so I could really end up in 5 different places, so it's kind of out
Oh
of my
wow.
hands, which is a little scary, but also it's kind of like I'm going to end up wherever I'm supposed to be. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. So dealing with stress, just being an athlete, what has your experience been with that? Like for me, like waking up early, doing all those like the meetings and everything is it's easy because I love football. Like I loved, I knew I knew what I was signing up for, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know to a lot of people handle stress in different ways. So what was that process like for you? Dealing with the crazy lifestyle. How did you kind of balance, a social life, school, uh, track and field, and whatever. Basically, what you've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would just say like it really helps having a good support system, and I feel like I've found that, um, and actually a lot of different people, like my mom and dad. I talk to my sisters a lot, and then I have a really good support system at Nebraska as far as like my teammates and my friends and my coaches. So I feel like I'm a person that if I deal with stress, I handle it better by talking through it or writing things down and kind of like compartmentalizing things. So that's been kind of like a technique that I've used. I know a lot of people like to talk sports psych. I've utilized that once or twice. But yeah, just like talking it out and kind of figuring out what's most important to get done and just seeing, what I need to do that day helps me a lot.
That's amazing. That's great advice. I ain't gonna lie, cause I'm so like OCD. Like I literally have like a Google Doc and an Excel doc of like what I have to do. Cause like I ain't gonna lie, I have a terrible memory, so if I don't write it down, I forget. But it also helps me too, cause like if I write it down in the Google Doc or whatever, like I can like forget about it. I can breathe, cause I can just look at it later and know, okay, I got to do that.
Absolutely.
So tell me, so with that transition, I've had a lot of friends, graduate, done with sports and, kind of not knowing what's next. And the fact that, you already know what you want to do after that. What is what is one thing that you're like most excited about, entering into the new field or turning a new page?
I think as far as nursing school goes, I'm really excited because I think it's a career that like I would have a chance to help people every day, which really excites me because I feel like I have a real passion for that. And also it's a career where I would have a lot of room to like change what I'm doing. So I wouldn't have to be stagnant if I, decide I want to go a different route with it, I can do that. If I want to go back to school and, pursue a little higher education within nursing, I can also do that. So I like that. Besides like the nursing school aspect, I'm really excited to be able to kind of like work out for myself. Just being like a jumper and having to do running workouts all the time. You definitely get used to it, but you're training like to be the best jumper you can be or like whatever you're doing athletically. And so I feel like it'll be really exciting to be able to work out for yourself and like um yeah, just because you enjoy it and not because you have to do it. So yeah, I'm kind of looking
Yeah,
forward to that and like I don't have to be like a power lifter or anything. Like I can, yeah,
yeah.
do it casually and enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that.
So what were the lifts like for you guys? Like for us, I mean, we had two different strength coaches, so like it was kind of night and day with like the I guess like the way our offseason plan was. What is that like for you? Is it like more so running, more so in the weight room, kind of like 50-50?
Yeah, we do like at the beginning, like fall training is the time that we're like, doing most of our getting in shape process. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're doing a lot of running. We're doing a lot of like general strength circuits and it's a lot. And so, and it's a lot of like, it's longer distances, higher volume, less what's the word I'm thinking of, like it wouldn't be like 95%, you'd probably be doing it more like
Mm-hmm.
80, 85, or even less,
Yeah,
but it's just high volume and high reps, so that gets exhausting, especially when it's really hot out. And it's just
yeah, no
like
lie.
and it's not really anything, like there's nothing to look forward to really, I mean, until season comes around, so you're just, I mean, you have a purpose, but you feel like a little bit after weeks and weeks of it, you're like, I'm running without a purpose, and here we go again, and we're doing hills, and it's all worth it. But it gets a little bit repetitive and kind of exhausting sometimes.
Of course. So is there anything that you're nervous about though? Like with what's next?
Yeah, I think just like when entering any new chapter, there's like a level of uncertainty, and so I think what I'm most nervous about is just being an athlete gives you like a sense of confidence in a lot of different areas, and it's
Yeah.
something that's kind of like gave me that for my whole life. And so I think there's definitely going to be a transition period of, not having that anymore. And I'll still have friends who are, that I came in my class with that are still going to be here. And so I think probably seeing them competing next year and, being involved in stuff will be a little difficult. But I mean, that's just, everyone's going to be done at some point. So I think that's probably the scariest part, but like I said, also very exciting because, one door closes, another opens, and there's a bunch of fun stuff still down the road after athletics.
Amen. So what is your favorite memory from the season?
I don't know, since we just started, like we've only had two meets. But again, like I would say the best part of the season is like I don't know, either like getting to cheer on my teammates when like everyone's jumping really good. That's super fun to kind of like ride that wave. But also just like travel trips and just getting to hang out with all my friends and like all be a part of the team is really awesome. And yeah, experiences and memories I'll have forever.
That's amazing. Well, I do have one more question before we wrap it up, though. So tell me, so like when I was growing up, like when I was playing high school football, my dad was a high school coach, but I didn't play for my dad. I played against him. So
Okay.
when college coaches would come, they'd be like, "Oh, like that's like weird, like the dynamic like in the house, like is it weird?" But I did see that you got to compete against your sister. What was that like?
It was really fun. My sister and I, like, we're a couple years apart, but it's always been like, yeah, we're competing against each other, but we always want like the best for each other and just each other's successes. And so it's not really like two head to head. But yeah, it was just a really fun opportunity to like get to compete against my sister, especially since she goes to school at Sac State, which is so, obviously Nebraska is really far away from there. And so, and two
Yeah,
different conferences. So it's like, I feel like God really worked it out that we got to see each other out of me because like that's so random. So that's
yeah,
definitely an experience that I'll remember forever.
that's amazing. So the name of the podcast is Moving Mountains, and so the reasoning behind it, I'm a big guy. I believe in purpose, right? Like purpose behind everything you do. And I believe that, God placed me on this earth to show other people, like this mountain can move, right? Like ACL, a lot of people quit or be done and then moved it, right? That's the mountain that was moved. And, everyone has those mountains throughout their lives that, they've moved. And I firmly believe that, if you're not like approaching a mountain, you're either in the middle of the mountain or you just finished one. And we all know like life is up and down. So even though you just passed one, you may be getting ready for another one. So the one question that I want to end every show with is, what's the biggest mountain you faced and what did you do to move it?
Oh, wow.
And it's just like advice for someone with a similar, mountain they're facing, or just any way you could feel like a certain story or, situation or injury or, no matter how big or small, you feel comfortable sharing that you feel like people could benefit from.
Okay. I'd say within regards to my athletic experience, I'd say one of the biggest mountains I've moved or just like, yeah, went to climb, I don't know, would be when I went through like a coaching change, just because I think a lot of people can relate to that. You come in and you're recruited by someone and then you have a switch halfway through. And that's really difficult,
Yeah.
especially when they bring other people or, they don't know you and you don't have, I don't know, for whatever reason. So I think dealing with that and coming out the other side and of that was really like a good experience for me. It was definitely uncomfortable, but it was definitely like I'm glad that I went through that.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for your time. I know you're a busy woman. Thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for tuning in. I'll be back with another exciting episode next week that you won't want to miss. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much.